So for the final time this season, unless somehow the Sky make the playoffs and get both the Fever and the Sky make the WNBA finals, but it's going to be for the last time this season. For the last time this season, Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese are playing, and we will be live for it all, by the way. So if you guys are interested in watching it live, go and subscribe to the channel. We're at 29,000. Thank you guys so much for that, by the way. If we get like 29.1k, that would be incredible by the time of the game. But these two are going to be facing off in what is going to be one of the biggest regular season games of all time. It's going to be one of the most expensive regular season games to get a ticket, and it's without question going to be one of the biggest regular season games ever. And I'm going to look at what has happened since the last game, what I expect for this game in general, and also like the state of how the rookies have been perceived between now and the last game. So the last time these played was the second best game of Angel Reese's career. One of the best games a rookies played this year. I would say in the top 5. But the last time these two teams played, it was a game where the Fever were completely in control. The Fever were off the back of a 4-game win streak, I think. Completely in control. Marina Mabry really struggled the whole game. Caitlin Clark had 17 and 11, and they were up 12 points with 6 minutes to go. And then it was the Angel Reese takeover. And 9 of 11 from the free throw line, 8 of 12 from the field. She's like, if Angel Reese was doing this every game, she's rookie of the year. But like, that was an absolute takeover. And it was funny, at this point in the 23rd of June, like, they did face each other 3 times in June. Like, they faced each other 3 times in 3 weeks. And at this point, the rookie of the year race was pretty much neck and neck. Even in the bookies odds, it was like minus 500, or it was like minus 700 for Caitlin Clark, plus 350 for Angel Reese. But it was, Angel Reese was catching up closer and closer and closer. And most places, if you looked at any publication, every one of them had Angel Reese first. It's literally only, but since then, the Indiana Fever have, in my opinion, just looked like a completely just new animal. Like, they are a brand new team since that game. And it's like that game was kind of I don't think that game was the switch, but I think the game the following week when they faced off against, they played, who was it the following week? The Mercury. The Mercury game was the switch point, because Indiana had not beaten a team above 500 since 2022. Like, it was that long. And I think it was like early in the year they beat a team above 500 in 2022. Like, I don't think they beat a good team. They won 5 games in 2022. But when it came to the Fever, how they have been since that game. So the Fever, at the point of the Chicago Sky loss, were 7 and 11. And you might have said, like, oh, they just haven't been brilliant since then. But like, they went 7 and 12. Since that game, they have played a really good game against the Mercury, where Caitlin Clark had a near triple-double, and they came back down 15 in that game. Then the Aces game. The funniest part about this is, like, this Aces game looks like a blowout. It's a 19-point win. This is a 4-point game going to the fourth, I think. Was it 4 going to the fourth? 5. They just got blown out. Or 6, sorry. They got blown out in the fourth quarter. But this was neck and neck the whole way. And since then, they haven't really been blown out in a game. Like, they had, again, those 2 losses. They went and beating the Mercury. Things changed. I thought they were close in that Aces game. And then they go and beat the Liberty. They lose to the Mystics, but the Mystics were just really good. And sometimes the Mystics can be great. Beat the Mercury again. And beat the Lynx, even though it was no fee. Lost against the Wings. They were playing better. And now have come out since the Olympic break and are 4-1. Like, they're 4-1 since the Olympic break. And there is a good chance that they go 7. There is a non-zero chance they go 7-1. I think they go 2-1 in this spell. But still, 6-2 out of the Olympic break is like I think that is the second best record other than the Lynx at the Olympic break. So they're going to be in a really good spot, whereas the Sky right now are in free fall. The Sky have just been they've struggled. They've really been struggling, and it's not just on the court, it's off the court stuff. Like, it is a lot of off the court stuff when it comes to the Sky. Like, you're looking close loss, close loss. Like, they've lost their last 3 games by a combined 8 points. And they've just been imploding. Or to be fair, sorry. They imploded down the stretch in this game. They came back in this game. And I thought they were awful down the stretch. On this one here as well. But then they got beaten by the Mercury pretty badly. Like, they've only beaten the Sparks. So you're looking at a team who's 4-1 versus a team that are 1-5 after the Olympic break. And it's looking very, 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 very unlikely that the Sky win this game. So what do we need to look for? Like, at this stage, the Rookie of the Year race is over. This game has a little bit less intrigue than the other games because the Sky are bad. The Fever are. I'm not going to put them in the contenders, but like, it's not out of realm possibility that they can go and make the final, that they can go and win a playoff series. And if you win your first playoff series, like, if you can get into the if they can somehow get into that 4-5 matchup, they're not going to beat the Lynx with Liberty. But if you can win a playoff series and you can get hot and you're a young team, especially with the way that these formats are, you can potentially go and make the finals. Like, it's not out around possibility, whereas Chicago Sky, it's a miracle if they make the playoffs at this stage. But for the Sky, this one's all going to be about, can you stop Caitlin Clark? Can you win this game for pride? Like, there are games for the Sky for pride. I don't think the Sky cared that much about that Mystics game. I don't care if they win or... I don't think they really cared that much if they win or lose that game. I don't think they really cared that much if they won or lost. They probably cared to an extent they won or lost the Aces game. I don't... But they really cared about the Sun game because Marina Mabry was on that team. And they really care about the Fever. There are games when you are a tanking team or a bad team, there are games that you will get yourself up for, just like the Dream, or not the Dream, the Sparks. I keep calling the Sparks the Dream. Just like the Sparks, every single time they face the Aces, it's personal because of Hamby. That's basically the way this is for Chicago. And I don't know if that can lead to be a good thing or a bad thing. Like, getting overly pumped up for a game can be a good or a bad thing. It can be a bad thing if Indiana blitzed them early. Because Chicago haven't been a great starting team, and Indiana have been a very good starting team post-Olympic break. Like, if Indiana could go up 15, 20 points, again, insert Christie sides, slowing the pace down, and then Chicago coming back, I could see this game resulting in a brawl if Indiana win this game by a lot. Like, Chicago, something's going on. I don't know if it's entirely on the floor, if it's off the floor, on the floor, if they're angry at their GM. I don't know what's going on, but something's happening in Chicago. And don't be surprised if this game is... I think if it's a close game, the players will care enough about winning that they're going to be on their best behavior. But if the Fever can blitz Chicago, which based on form, they probably could. Not that they should, they could do it. If the Fever blitz Chicago, expect an ejection. Expect at least one ejection, whether it be a player or Taurasi Weatherspoon herself.